All right, everybody. Welcome in here on a Saturday afternoon to Trailblazer Game Day from the Fan Sports Network studios. Devin Dixon alongside Caden Formaster, Utah Tech. Game number 2 inside the UAC conference slate. And they're on the road again for the second consecutive week. And the first time ever Utah Tech will play in the natural state out in Arkansas against Central Arkansas, Caden. This was the one win the Trailblazers grabbed last season, though, so it's only the second all-time meeting between these two teams.
Yeah, last year, getting that big win over Central Arkansas, and this was a game that I got to be on and call play-by-play for, so I got to see this one firsthand. And really, they won this game last year because of a few different things. The defense created turnovers, giving the offense the ball in great field position, and really that was a big part of it. Plus, they had some guys that came in. I remember there was a linebacker who went out early with an injury, a guy who really hadn't played all season, filled his spot, and ended the game with 2 picks. So you just never know. That next guy up mentality really worked well for them last year in this game. And so what's it going to be this year? Well, I will tell you this. Both teams are 1-4 in the UAC, so they're kind of in a similar spot. Neither one of them wants to give up their 5th loss. So, I mean, just when you look at it from that perspective, this could be a battle.
Yeah, it should be fun. Utah Tech, of course, last week out at Austin Peay, losing 42-10. Another ranked opponent, now 5-37 against ranked opponents in the FCS since making the jump. And man, oh man, it's been a brutal schedule. The only win so far a couple weeks ago against Northern Iowa. The good news is here, Caden, Central Arkansas just one win themselves this season, and they're kind of struggling to find wins just like Utah Tech is. So looks like a little bit more of a fair fight, and Utah Tech is much improved over last year. I think you and I have both seen they're better on defense. They've got better skill position players. They're a little bit deeper this year. They're bigger and faster overall, but the record's still not there yet. This would do wonders picking up win number 2 for Lance Anderson if they could steal one in Arkansas against the Bears today.
Yeah, it would. I mean, you look back at last year alone and you think, okay, this is a team that didn't even get more than a single win, and they have a really good shot here today to get into that second win category at the very least, right? And of course you want to see them build on that. You know, the season's still fairly young, it feels like, right? We're at that midway point in the season. So if they can turn this into a second win and then maybe a third down the road, a fourth, right? I mean, this is the point of the season where you expect that a team like Utah Tech that's trying to get better is going to start bringing in more wins. The first half of the season, listen, they've played 4 games that they've lost, and every single one of those was a ranked opponent. So in some ways, I had compared this to like the Baltimore Ravens in the NFL. They're sitting there with 1 win and a lot of losses, but every loss is a good team.
Yeah.
But you know that that's still a good team, right? The Baltimore Ravens are a good team. This Utah Tech team might just be a good team in disguise who's just played against other really good opponents. We just don't know.
Yeah, and the last win against a ranked opponent was last year against Central Arkansas at home in the game you were just alluding to. And so we'll see what happens today. Of course, what's at stake? Well, Utah Tech's trying to snap a 14 straight road game losing streak. That has got to weigh heavily on the minds of the coaches. As far as the players go, some of the newcomers, there's 51 newcomers this year. Maybe not so much. I'm sure that's not talked about too much, vocalized at practice, but that's a lot of consecutive losses in a row. It'd be nice to get a road win, especially in conference play early in conference. This is just game number 2 inside the slate of the UAC, the final year that Utah Tech will play in the UAC before going to the Big Sky Conference next year.
Yeah, I think this is a big road game for sure. Like you mentioned, you got to get wins on the road if you want to be a successful football team. And so this is a big opportunity for them to head to a new place they've never been before, and a competition that they beat last year. But again, from year to year, everybody's different. So still, though, you can have that thought in the back of your mind of this is a team that we can beat. And so I'm sure you're going to go in strong and ready to go and win this one.
The Bears have a 1-4 record, just like Utah Tech. They've split their first 2 home games to the point this season, highlighted by a convincing 41-17 win against in-state foe Arkansas Pine Bluff. Since that win, Central Arkansas dropped their next 3 against teams that were currently ranked or formerly ranked in the FCS Top 25 poll, which includes a 56-10 home loss to the current number 3 team in the country in the FCS latest poll, Tarleton State. That was the conference opener back on September 13th. Their quarterback, Luther Richardson, 6'3", 225 pounds. So far this season, 726 yards, 61 out of 98 passing, 6 touchdowns through 5 games this season. 4 of his 6 touchdowns he's thrown at home, so he's played better at home. His favorite target is a wide receiver, 6'1", 190-pounder called Malachi Henry. Leads the team in receptions and yards, 28 catches, 325 yards so far. Sophomore running back, a name you'll hear Rod Zundel call this afternoon here on the Fan Sports Network, Landon Chambers, 215 pounds, so pretty sturdy running back for the Bears.
Yeah. And this is a pretty well-rounded offense. There's a lot of really good talent there. And we'll hear it coming up. I had the chance to catch up with defensive coordinator Coach Patrick Moynihan, and we talked a little bit about this offense and what they're expecting. And it's definitely going to be a battle when you get that Trailblazer defense against the Bears offense. And I just think that both sides are matched up really well. The Trailblazers have a great defense this year. There's a lot of guys on that side that are putting in some big work. And I know that they struggled this last week against Austin Peay. They'll admit that themselves. But the one thing that they hang their hat on is that they know how to bounce back. They still know how to be a good defense. And so I think that that's going to be an interesting matchup.
All right, let's get to some of those interviews. Let's hear from some of the players and Coach Moynihan, like Caden mentioned, in our coordinator's corner. And then, of course, we're going to be about 22 minutes away from sending it out to Central Arkansas, where Rod Zundel will get you all ready for kickoff. 3 o'clock kickoff this afternoon. We've got it for you right here. This is Trailblazer Game Day on your home of the Trailblazers, the Fan Sports Network. Back in a minute. Dejon Harrison with me here, receiver, Utah Tech. And quick recap from last week, man. What happened out there at Austin Peay?
At Austin Peay, we had a good game plan coming into it. They came out ready to come play, and we came out ready to come play too, but they just ended up on the best side of the ball.
What was that road trip coming home like? I mean, you were coming off that high beat Northern Iowa, and then you go out there, and now you got to go back on the road again. You guys stay pretty tight-knit. Everybody stay up this week?
Yeah, of course. We're a close team. You know, that's what Coach Anderson preaches, and he wants us to be the closest team that we can be, just so that we can be able to prosper and be able to be successful later on down the road, regardless if we win or we lose.
I'm curious, your journey here. You were at UConn prior. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to high school? How'd you end up in St. George, Utah? Give me the story, the backstory.
So I grew up in Pflugerville, Texas. Went to high school in Hutto, Texas. I ended up transferring to UConn my freshman year. I originally went to the University of Texas, and then I transferred to UConn, went there for 2 years, and now I just came to St. George because, you know, Coach Stevens, he had a great offense going at Southern Louisiana. So once I seen those numbers, I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to come here and play for him.
Yeah. What do you think of the weather? What do you think of town? You liking it so far?
Oh, I love the town, man. If you can just show the camera, I'm pretty sure y'all can't see too much, but the mountains out here are amazing. The people are amazing. The weather's beautiful, and there's a lot of great places to go visit.
Do you find a good spot where you like to go get a good meal when you're, leading up to a home game? You and the boys, where do you guys go eat at?
We usually eat at Black Bear every Sunday, so we try to go to Black Bear as much as we can. But other than that, that's probably the only place that I go to be honest.
I love it. What are you studying in school?
Communications.
Communications.
Yes,
What do you
sir,
want to do with that? Any idea yet?
I'm not sure too much yet. I kind of want to go into broadcasting if I can be like one of those Shaq guys after my career, something like that. But the opportunities are endless whenever you go into communications and stuff like that.
You come from a football family, big family, small family?
Yes, sir. My dad actually played at Sam Houston State University. He's a Hall of Famer up there, actually
Really?
a Hall of Fame linebacker up there. So, I'm just trying to lead my dad in those footsteps and stuff like that. My brother, he was supposed to go to Oklahoma State University, and he ended up tearing his MCL and ACL his last game in his high school season. So he ended up not going there. Went to JUCO route, and that didn't end up working for him. So. No, I'm just following him in those footsteps.
It's tough. Injury's part of the game. Sometimes
sir.
the success stories are there. Sometimes they're not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's the communication like with your dad? During the week and before and after games, you guys still talk football all the time?
Oh, of course, all the time. He's actually been to a couple games. He usually just tells me just to keep my head on strong, make sure that I go out there, catch, tuck, and run is his main thing that he tells me to do. So as long as I keep doing those things, I'm sure I'll be fine.
Well, what's the goal this week? Bears, they got one win, you got win. Somebody's going to get a big conference win. What's kind of the offensive game plan without giving any secrets away, and how do you guys go put up a bunch of points on the road?
Just stay committed to what we've been doing. Come to practice every day and we work hard. Trust in the process, trust in the coaches, and make sure that we can make a play whenever our name's called. That's pretty much it.
If you haven't watched number one, Mr. Harrison, who do you emulate? Do you watch YouTube clips? Who's your favorite NFL receiver? Do you compare yourself to anybody, route running wise or hands wise?
I probably wouldn't compare myself. One person that I like to go for is Deshaun Jackson. That's my favorite player and it was in the NFL prior to the NFL. But Deshaun Jackson is probably the guy that I go with.
I love it, man. We'll make some grabs like him, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for stopping by.
Yes, sir. Thanks for talking to me.
All right, John Harrison, everybody. Ryan Marks with me here, the punter. The punters never get any attention, but I've called a couple games this year, and Ryan is actually a dang good punter. So, Ryan, you weren't always a punter, though, were you?
I was not.
What positions did you play in high school?
So, actually, throughout all my childhood, I played quarterback.
Okay.
So, from when I was 8 years old all the way through my junior year of high school, played quarterback, and it was kicking on the side. And when I hit my junior year, it was, where is this going to take me either way? And decided to focus more on kicking, and here we are. So,
did you play soccer growing up?
I didn't.
No.
Actually, I did not.
That's rare. A lot of kickers do.
Yeah, a lot of kickers do. I think the thing with me was playing quarterback. They're like, oh, it's fourth down. Let's get the quarterback in there, let him punt, and kind of do his thing. And it kind of blossomed from just something small like that.
So I can tell you're an athlete. See, you're an athlete. But look at the guns. I mean, the punters, they don't miss weight sessions, right?
Oh, no, definitely not.
You've kicked a bunch over 50 yards. Do you have a goal this year as far as like average per punt you'd like to accomplish?
I think for myself, I've kind of set a standard for like around 45, but I think at the end of the day, it's helping the team put them in field position where it'll help our offense get out of sticky situations, also put our defense in really good spots to be able to start drives. So at the end of the day, if I do that, then I think the numbers take care of itself.
Yeah, if you pin them inside the 20 and it only goes 40 yards, it hurts your average, but it's mission accomplished.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. Sure.
Yeah. What's the longest kick you've ever had? Longest punt?
2 years ago against San Jose, I had a 76-yard punt.
76. So you got it in the bag if you need it.
I got it in the bag if we need it. So
there was no wind that day, was there either?
No, it was earlier in the season where it was nice and calm, a little night day in San Jose. So it was awesome.
Love it, man.
Yep.
Where'd you go to high school at?
So I went to Farmington High.
Farmington High School. A transfer from Utah State?
From Utah State. So
Yeah.
I spent 3 seasons up at Utah State, and then entered the transfer portal this last December, and ended up down here. So
Tell us about how you ended up down here.
yeah, so at the end of the season last year, me and my wife decided that it would be best to kind of look for other opportunities after all the coaching staff changes and whatnot up in Logan, and we started taking visits, started talking to different coaches, and when we came down here on a visit in end of December, it just felt like home. It felt like home for me and my wife, and I think both at that moment, like, we were still in St. George, and we're like, yeah, no, this is definitely probably where we'll end up. So
Now, I know you're not the only married guy on this team. There's a handful of you, right?
there's a handful of us.
You guys
yeah.
get around on Monday night and play family games or anything?
My hey, we probably should.
We probably should.
Probably should. My wife has done an incredible job of trying to like reach out to those wives on the team and really try to build a bond there. So it's been awesome to kind of see.
Give a shout out to your wife.
Oh, she's awesome. Kenna, I love you. I wouldn't be here without you. And yeah,
there you go.
I love her. So.
Well said. Tough road trip last week, another road trip this week. Talk about getting on a plane again and going out to Central Arkansas after taking it to Austin Peay or getting beat up by Austin Peay.
Yeah, no, I think as a special teams unit, I think as specialists in general, we take kind of what happened the last week, make the necessary corrections that we need to, and then kind of keep it in the back of our mind, but really focus on what's coming forward. So we spent a day trying to correct all the things that happened last week, and then once Tuesday hit, it was focusing on Central Arkansas and trying to get ready for Central Arkansas and what we can do there. So
this fly, we got to get this fly, Ryan. You got to kick him or something.
Oh, I know.
We got to take care of that guy.
Hunt him.
Exactly.
Hey, what is film study in special teams film like? I don't even know. Take me through like a film session. Is it shorter than offense, shorter than defense? Is it more intense in other ways? Tell me about it.
I think it's a lot more precise. I think that as a special teams unit, we have a very high standard for ourselves. We have incredible specialists on our team, Ilya and also Peter at long snapper. We've got guys that we can raise and set a high standard for us. So when we go into film sessions, it's, okay, what does the snap look like? Are we getting laces on field goal? And correcting the little small things. So we go through and watch every kick, every practice. So tomorrow we'll go back and watch field goal, punt, kickoff today and make the corrections and really make sure that everything's dialed for Saturday. So
I love it. Your wife's best at cooking what?
Ooh. I'd say everything.
Okay, great answer.
She is an incredible baker. She
Okay.
makes super amazing treats, which is not a good thing for me.
Uh-oh.
But we decided that once she makes treats, we distribute it out to the rest of the specialists. So it goes all across everybody.
What about you? What can you cook? Are you a griller?
I make pretty good steak. I like making like the meats and stuff like that, but I mean, I kind of leave it up to her because my food is way worse than what she makes. So
Ryan Marks, everybody. Pre-game meal. What are you going to have before Central Arkansas?
probably a little pasta, probably
you go.
steak as well.
There you go.
I mean, it's a little bit earlier kickoff, so it might be breakfast stuff. So I love breakfast food. So
Can't go
never
wrong with
really
some
fussed about
breakfast.
it.
Ryan Marks, fun to sit down and chat with you, man. Good luck against the Bears.
Thank you, appreciate it.
It's the Coordinator's Corner here at the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster here, and defensive coordinator for Utah Tech, Coach Patrick Moynihan. Coach, welcome back in. Second time here on the show this season. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be back.
Now, we've got to talk about a few different things, obviously, since we last spoke. You guys have gotten that first win. Tell me a little bit about that win that you guys had against Northern Iowa and some of the things that you guys learned from that that you can continue on with you for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was kind of a commercial in a few different things where, number one, we did a really good job from a run defense standpoint that positioned us to be able to play good third down defense, which was a point of emphasis heading into that game. And then we also did a really good job in the red zone. And so kind of the combination of those three things allowed us to be real successful.
So tell me about this a little bit, because red zone is huge, right? Red zone defense is big. Make sure that you're getting those stops, and if you can hold them to only a field goal or something like that, then that's great. Or if you can, of course, push them back even further, that's also fantastic. How much of an emphasis do you guys put on red zone defense, even just in practices every single week?
Yeah, so we will spend a good amount of time on it during practice. So essentially, in terms of Wednesday's practice and then today's practice, we'll do about a 10-minute walkthrough each day, kind of going over an offense's core red zone concepts. And then during the course of practice, we'll devote about a 10-minute period each of these next two days on it there.
Interesting. Okay, so let's talk about going back to last week, Clarksville, Tennessee. You guys are taking on Austin Peay, and of course, coming up short. And yeah, I know from your standpoint, I'm sure that you guys probably saw that as a difficult loss, but there's also a lot to learn when you're playing against a good team. You've played 4 ranked teams in 5 games. Yeah. It's tough competition.
Yes.
It's tough, but you learn a lot from that. So what have you guys seen that you can work on to push forward? And now you got this game against Central Arkansas. What did you learn from those past games that you can take into this one coming up this week?
I think it's a few things. I think it's number one, from like a fundamentals and from a technique standpoint, like there's no substitute for being able to play with good leverage, and good body posture. So that way, all right, hey, when the opportunity to make a play is available to me, I'm able to do so. But then also in terms of, hey, when adversity strikes, being able to trust yourself and being able to trust your teammates. I think kind of to your point, in each of those 4 games, there are examples of us doing those things and having success. But then unfortunately, there are examples of us not doing those things and then suffering the consequences. And unfortunately on Saturday there was a bit too much of the latter as opposed to the former.
Yeah, understandable. Now, one thing that your guys' defense has been able to do really well has been to get to the quarterback, one of the best in FCS at that. Tell me a little bit about the guys that are making that happen and the efforts that they've been putting in. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think it starts with those those 4 guys up front, kind of whoever we put in. But Moon Ashby, Dallin Havea, and Will Olivao from the outside spots have been doing a good job. And then on the inside between Marley, Leighton, and Cody Carlson, kind of to name a few of those guys, have done a good job pushing the pocket from the inside.
And that's got to be something from your perspective as the coach, the defensive coordinator, where you got to be real proud of those guys for the pressure that they put on them. Tell me a little bit about looking forward to this game against Central Arkansas. Do you feel like this is a game where your defense can thrive?
I mean, I think we try and thrive in all games that we play. Certainly, that's what we plan and that's what we prepare for. I think it's a unique offense in that they recently made a change at quarterback, and then they are coming off kind of their best offensive output. So they're playing with a lot of confidence right now, but they have a big physical tailback. They've got a big physical offensive line, and they do some things in terms of splits and tempo and RPOs that kind of try and be able to isolate their wide receivers in space one-on-one. So it'll be a good challenge for us this week.
Now, that is a good challenge, right? Especially when someone's running an RPO or play action, things like that. I mean, anytime you're trying to switch things up on the defense, it can be tough. How good are your guys at just being able to read that from the offense? It seems like they've had some success at that this year of being able to make the right read.
Yeah. I think it starts with trust or understanding, especially from an RPO standpoint, where there's going to be the run action, but then also the guys running routes, and so making sure that, all right, hey, the guy's responsible for fitting the run or fitting the run. The guys responsible for covering the routes are covering the routes, and neither side is trying to do the other person's job, so to speak there. And then from a play action standpoint, I think it's a lot about communication on the back end, being able to pass off those deeper routes. But then that's also where the front guys can come into play, where as those routes need time to develop, being able to get pressure on the quarterback is going to be important too.
Can it be tough being on the road 2 weeks in a row? Last week, obviously on the road, this week again, before you're back home in the following week against Tarleton State. Does it get a little tough being on the road for some of these guys, or they're college kids and they can kind of roll with the punches?
I think anytime you're kind of out of your routine, out of your comfort zone, it makes it hard for you to be able to play at your best. But that's part of what we signed up for, and so I'm optimistic that, hey, the issues we had last Saturday, the mistakes that we made, hey, we're going to be able to plan for it and do a better job, both from a coaching and from a playing standpoint, to be able to have more success.
I love it. Well, Coach, Central Arkansas coming up this Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know that this is a game that a lot of guys are looking forward to because this is the game that you guys won last year at Greater Zion Stadium. Are some of the guys, do they have that in mind of like, hey, we already got these guys. We know we can beat this team. Granted, it's college football. Things are different from one year to the next.
Exactly.
But the names are still the same. You got to know, hey, we beat Central Arkansas last year. We can do it again. Are there some guys that kind of have that mentality of like, hey, we already took these guys down. We're good. We'll go in strong and we'll play them tough, but we can do this.
I think so. I think so. I think the guys are. It's twofold. We're number one. I think they do have a sense of confidence and a sense of enthusiasm heading into the game. But I think also in terms of wanting to turn the page and improve on last week and kind of put that in the rearview mirror. The best way to do that is to be able to come out and play well the next week.
I love it. Well, game's coming up shortly, so I know you guys are getting prepped, ready to go. It's going to be fun, and we will be listening to it on the Fan Sports Network or watching it, and we'll be supporting you guys as you're in Central Arkansas.
Yes. Yeah.
It'll be fun. All right, appreciate you, Coach Patrick Moynihan, defensive coordinator. Appreciate having you here with us today.
Thank you, Caden. Appreciate it.
Hey, welcome back here on Trailblazer Game Day. A lot of fun every week. Caden gets to sit down with the coordinator's corner. I get to sit down with a couple players, and we get to get you ready for Trailblazer kickoff here from the Fan Sports Network studios. Again, Utah Tech at Central Arkansas. First ever trip out to the natural state. Caden, let's start breaking this game down. What do you see is going to be the number one, maybe the number two, and even the number three key for Utah Tech to get a much-needed road win and break that 14-game road losing streak?
Well, I think first up, one of the big things that they have to do is just try to win the turnover battle. If you can try to keep your turnovers low, but if you can get a few takeaways yourself, that's going to be huge. So number one, win that turnover battle. Number two, I think, is you got to make some big plays. One thing that we're seeing from this offense so far is they've been pretty successful at gaining 5 yards here and there, 6 yards, whatever, right? Every so often they might grab 10, but I want to see some of these plays where they're grabbing 30 plus yards on a play, and we're just not seeing a lot of that from one game to the next. Here and there we'll see it, but it's not an every game situation for them. So if they can get some of those big time plays, whether it's a long run or a long pass down the sideline through the middle, it doesn't matter to me where it's at. Just get it downfield. They need to get the ball in scoring position, and that's going to help you do it. So, and that might just be the third key right there is points are points. Get the ball downfield to where you can score the ball. They've struggled a lot about crossing that 50-yard line. It's sometimes tough for the Trailblazer team to get across the 50 and into enemy territory. So if they can get into scoring position, I think that's going to help them a lot as well. And so that's going to be another one of the keys here is to continue to move the football as best you can.
Obviously, Utah Tech has been doing a good job getting after the quarterback. That's going to be a key, too. I love what you said about the explosive big plays. Got to beat the defense once in a while. You go back to the Northern Iowa game when they won, there was some explosive plays. That's going to help dramatically. So we'll see how it plays out tonight. Also, Bronson is a lot more healthier. Bronson, Barban, and so wondering if maybe Reggie still starts, but maybe we see a little bit of Bronson Barban in this game, or if we Reggie start to finish because he was just a little nicked up. They didn't start him. That opened up the door in that Northern Iowa game for Reggie to go win the game. They stuck with him at Austin Peay. Now you kind of wonder, they've been pretty comfortable playing two quarterbacks all season long, so don't know what the minutes will be divvied up, and that's probably based on how the game's flowing in the first and second quarter.
Yeah, and I will be very curious to see who's going to take the majority of those snaps. We did see Skylar Castle for a little bit last week for a snap, but we'll see who they have in store for us this week.
We'll have it for you coming up. We're getting closer to kickoff. We're going to take a timeout, but it's been a lot of fun. Kaden and I always love chatting with you, getting you ready for Saturday afternoon college football. It's the Trailblazers and the Central Arkansas Bears, and we've got it for you. When we come back, we still got about 30 minutes of pregame, so we're going to go out to Arkansas, and Rod Zundel, and he is going to have the call for you, paint the picture, and get you all of the action right here live on your home for the Trailblazers, the Fan Sports Network. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Hey, win on me! 103, 1, 2, 3! Fucking go! How about that? Touchdown, Trailblazers! Touchdown, Trailblazers!
Welcome to Trailblazer Kickoff, presented by Camping World of St. George. Your next great outdoor adventure begins under the big American flag.
Let's go!
We have arrived in the natural state as Utah Tech plays its first ever game in the state of Arkansas. We're 30 minutes from kick. Trailblazers and the Bears of Central Arkansas.
And welcome inside Estes Stadium here on the campus of the University of Central Arkansas. Hi there, everybody. Rod Zundel here. Glad to have you aboard this afternoon as we get you ready on Trailblazer Kickoff for the second ever meeting between the Trailblazers and the Bears. Both teams coming in with a record of 1-4 overall and 0-1 in conference play. Now, this is the first time that Utah Tech has ever played in the state of Arkansas. And if you're wondering just where the heck is Conway, Arkansas, well, I'll give you a little map. We flew into Little Rock yesterday. That's about just over 1,400 miles from St. George, and hopped in a car, and 30 miles to the north sits Conway, Arkansas. It's also about just a little over 2-hour drive west of Memphis, Tennessee. So that's where we are at today. Now, this will be one of the more unique fields that Utah Tech will ever play on. Of course, we know about the Smurf turf, the blue turf up at Boise State, the red turf at Eastern Washington. Well, check this out. This is the turf here at Estes Field. It's a gray and purple stripes. Stripe field. They use the moniker Fear the Stripes. In 2011, they made the switch from natural grass to this striped turf, and they wanted to be more unique than anybody else in the country. Well, I think they are successful in their goal. That's what Trailblazers will be playing on here this afternoon. All right, second meeting ever between these two. Of course, last year, Central Arkansas rolled into St. George as the 9th-ranked team in the country, but how about the day Reggie Graff had? He had 4 touchdowns overall. He threw 2 touchdown passes. He caught a touchdown pass and also had 1 rushing touchdown, helping the Trailblazers to get the big upset win over a top 10 team. Here's a look back at that win from a year ago in St. George. And they're going to go to the left side. Touchdown! McElvain across the middle. In the air. Interception. They fake to him. It's the reverse. The pass to Reggie Graff. Wow. Oh, my goodness. What a play. McElvain. Here comes the pressure. Fisher Jackson. He's got him down. Fumble. And it's recovered by the Trailblazers at the 5-yard line. Cody Carlson comes away with it. First and goal from the 2. Graff rolling to his right, out in the flat, caught, touchdown, Shamar Garrett. Up the middle, ball on the ground, picked up by the Trailblazers. Run again, got a little room, cuts it upfield, Reggie Graff's in for the touchdown. Reggie Graff, 15 yards. Where to go, across the middle, intercepted. And the Trailblazers shocked the FCS world with the biggest upset of the season in FCS, 34-21 over the 9th-ranked team in the country, Central Arkansas.
This is just the start of something special. I love you guys. Let's keep working, keep grinding, and we got great things ahead.
All right, that was a year ago in St. George. Trailblazers knocking off the then 9th-ranked team in the country, Central Arkansas, and you can bet that the Bears want some payback here on their home turf. Just like Utah Tech, Central Arkansas comes in with a record of 1-4 overall and 0-1 in conference play. All 4 of their losses have come against top 25 teams. Their schedule's been every bit as tough as the Trailblazers schedule has. Last week, they were at number 22, Lamar, and they lost to Lamar 35-32. But when you look at the stats, you've got to figure out how the heck did these guys lose to Lamar? Because on the offensive side, they outgained Lamar by over 200 yards. On defense, they held Lamar to 1 for 10 on third down. And when you do that with those 2 stats, you usually come away with the win. But they did not. They had a bad first 5 minutes of each half. They were down 14-0. After the second drive, they replaced their quarterback with Austin Myers. He had a broken foot in fall camp, decided not to undergo surgery, rehab, and he only practiced last week. He came in just over 3 quarters, threw for 358 yards. 2 of his receivers each had 100 yards apiece. They also have a running back called Landon Chambers. He's a bruiser, averaging 90 yards per game. Carried the ball 31 times a year last week for 136 yards, 31 times. Trailblazers will have their hands full with him and their new quarterback, Austin Myers. And with Myers, this is a much more dynamic offense and a better football team with him and at quarterback. Now, Central Arkansas head coach Nathan Brown, he was a All-American quarterback here for the Bears. Now he's running the show, and he knows just like his team, the Trailblazers record, well, they're better than what their record would indicate.
So they've played a tough schedule too. They've been in every game they played. A very well coached team as well. Their coach has done a good job turning that program around quickly. They're competitive. I mean, you can see that they're creating change there. And so that team that you saw last year, this is not the same group. They brought in a good chunk of transfers, some new players. They've kind of overhauled their roster, like many teams do, and you kind of have to do it at this point in the college football world. So it's going to be a competitive battle. They got a good, talented quarterback that can extend plays. We're going to have to play good football, but I need to start fast. We need to start our first half and second half starting has got to be better, and that's going to help us when it's all said and done.
All right, that was Central Arkansas head coach Nathan Brown. We are just about 25 minutes away from kickoff, second ever meeting between the Trailblazers and the Bears. First ever game here in the state of Arkansas for Utah Tech. When we come back, the Russian Rocket, Trailblazer kicker, will take us along for the ride during a practice, and Coach Anderson takes us to the film room to break down last week's game. That's when Trailblazer kickoff returns to Conway, Arkansas.
If you haven't seen Utah Tech University lately, chances are you haven't seen it at all. With hands-on polytechnic learning across 300 academic programs, 30 new and renovated state-of-the-art facilities, the most affordable university tuition in the state, and 300 days of sunshine. Why look anywhere else? Discover why Utah Tech was recently named one of Education Magazine's 10 prominent universities and colleges to watch. Join us and experience the active learning, active life difference at Utah Tech.
All right, back here in Conway, Arkansas, about 24 minutes until kickoff. Trailblazers and the Bears of Central Arkansas, second ever meeting between these two. All right, Utah Tech kicker Ilya Uvido became the first Trailblazers to hit 2 field goals of 50 yards or more in a single game when he did that a few weeks ago at the University of Idaho, including a school record tying 55-yarders. Time now to join the Russian Rocket, as he is called, in this edition of Mic'd Up.
Yeah, can we get a yup count for on field goal? I'm only kicking 5, so the yup count should realistically be 5, but sweet. We still got like 10 minutes. Treat it like an episode of Impractical Jokers.
She gave you props. We need come field goal period. As we're watching that long ball fly in. Just need a nice little
slow-mo and Uguay ascends.
Slow-mo overlay. Yo, your celebration should be like.
All right, check out these wheels. Ooh. Every warm-up, Fisher and I play this game. 1-0, where if we hit him in the numbers, it's 2 points. If we hit him in the helmet, it's 1 point. And first of 10 wins. 1-1. And I win probably 98% of the time. It's one of those days, I guess. Great game. Great game. Great game. A little jog going, maybe. I think I'd be Theodore. Every time I brought this conversation up, I've always get voted Theodore.
I think it's just because of your height.
Yeah, my shorter stature. Yep.
Ready? Set. That jump counter to 2.
Huh. Yep. Yeah, field goal, field goal. Yep.
Are you ready? Set.
Good. Hey, right here. Quick.
Yep.
Are you ready? Set.
That left foot, or right foot. Hey, right here. The right foot can't.
Yep.
Protect first.
Are you ready? Set.
He knows my little sister.
All right, so far this season, Ilya is 7 of 9 on field goals, and he's a perfect on PATs. All right, time now to take a look back at last week's game in Clarksville, Tennessee against Austin Peay. The outcome wasn't what Utah Tech wanted, but they did have some good moments, and here they are in this edition of Sounds of the Game. Trailblazers feeling pretty good about themselves, getting their first win last week.
Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Third meeting between the Trailblazers and Austin Peay.
Let's go. Come on.
And welcome inside for Terrace Stadium. Glad to have you aboard for this high noon kickoff to open up the United Athletic Conference schedule. Now he's running away from Alaveo, and he hit just as he throws, almost picked off by Cody Carlson. He had it in his hand, and then a big lineman knocked it out of his hand. Reggie is going to roll left, and he wants to throw back right. Wide open is Eric Olsen, 35, 40, 45, 50, 40, all the way down to the 40-yard line. Out in the flat, caught. Good tightrope by Dejon Harrison that came down, got a toe tap on the shot. Reggie, across the middle, caught. Eric Olsen inside the 35, down to the 32-yard line. So the Trailblazers get on the board. Ilya Ubaido, 31-yard field goal. In the backfield, he goes down. Jalen Love brings down Caden Williams. That was Devin Perkins. And down goes Parson. Trailblazers get to the quarterback for the first time this afternoon. Will Alaveo forced him right into the hands of Helaman Ofahangawe. To Chapman down the right sideline. Butted heads with the defender for a first down. caught. Eggett, 30-yard line, first down, 28-yard line. This is 4th and 4. Ball at the 7-yard line. Caught, first down, Drew Tanner. Crowell in the backfield. Into the end zone, there it is. Jonah Crowell. So Utah Tech will head back to St. George and get ready for Central Arkansas next week. All right, a big shout out to our Trailblazer Sports Vision student interns, Ariel Frederickson and Ryan Keith, for producing and editing our sounds of the game. All right, now we head into the film room. Head coach Lance Anderson breaks down last week's game, explains why they happened. There were some good spots, but just not enough of them. This is this edition of Film Session with the coach.
This first place comes from the first quarter. Defensively, we started out fairly strong. This is our third defensive possession of the game. This is a third down play, and we were able to get a stop here and get off the field. So you can see here we're more than midway through the first quarter, still a 0-0 football game. And we've got a 3rd down and 7 here. And in previous weeks, I've shown a lot of some of our man pressures and things like that where we were able to get off the field on 3rd down. This particular play, we are in a zone coverage. And I'll just stop it here and just show that we've got everybody in really good position in terms of our zone coverage, where we're playing a cover 2 concept here to the field. We're playing a quarters concept down here to the boundary. And you look at our defenders here, how evenly spaced they are. We're really taking away all the receivers from Austin Peay. We got people in really good position here. And so you'll see there is initially no place for the quarterback to go with the football, which causes him to scramble a little bit. So let me back this up again and let this play. You'll see us drop into coverage. Everybody's in good position here. You see the quarterback trying to make a read, make a throw here. There's nothing there, so he starts to scramble. So we first off get some pressure on a stunt right up the middle here from Will Olivau. Cody Carlson here does a great job of getting out to contain, not letting the quarterback break contain, forces him back to the middle of the field. That's where Moon Ashby does a great job of keeping contained, getting off his block, and really pressures the quarterback. So first thing here, this was very close to being a fumble here by the quarterback, and this play was reviewed. And then you'll also see here with that ball floating up in the air, Cody Carlson here has a great chance to pick that ball off, but just can't bring it in. Plays like this are really plays that turn and change the momentum of the game. Let me take a look at it here from the end zone. You'll see that we're running a stunt up front on both sides. And on the defensive right here, you'll see Will Olivau come free on the stunt and get right in the quarterback's face. And again, I want to point out Cody Carlson getting to contain, Moon Ashby getting out to contain. So nowhere for the quarterback to go, and creating this 3rd down stop, and what was very close to being a takeaway could have potentially been a very big play in the game. Okay, I'm going to go to the first quarter for an offensive play here. It's a 7-0 game at this point. And one of the things that Reggie Graff has done very well this year is being able to throw on the run. So we've been able to mix in bootlegs, sprints, things like that. So on this particular play, we start out with Reggie rolling out to his left. And where we've had success here, you can see the defense really overplays here, where they really react to Reggie sprinting out to his left. So we're able to sneak our tight end, Eric Olson, back into the boundary to the offensive right side of the field, where no one covers him at that point, leads to a big play. So again, if I back this up to the start, you focus on the movement to the offensive left, and then just watch Eric Olson sneak back out to the offensive right. You see Reggie Graff hit him, wide open throw, ends up being a 35-yard gain, and these are the kind of explosive plays we need offensively. If we look at it from the end zone, again, you really see the deception that we're trying to create with all of the movement to the offensive left, the rollout, which we've done many times this year. You see Eric Olson sneak back to his right, and then no one in the picture. this ends up being a really big play. And that will be a key for us again this week going on the road against Central Arkansas, are being able to create those explosive plays on the offensive side of the ball.
All right, thanks, Coach. We are now just over 12 minutes away from kickoff. Utah Tech and the Central Arkansas Bears. When we come back, we'll get to know outside linebacker Dallin Havea just a little bit better. But first, listen into the Central Arkansas Marching Band.
If you haven't seen Utah Tech University lately, chances are you haven't seen it at all. With hands-on polytechnic learning across 300 academic programs, 30 new and renovated state-of-the-art facilities, the most affordable university tuition in the state, and 300 days of sunshine, why look anywhere else? Discover why Utah Tech was recently named one of Education Magazine's 10 prominent universities and colleges to watch. Join us and experience the active learning, active life difference at Utah Tech.
Welcome back here inside of Estes Field on the campus of University of Central Arkansas. Just over 10 minutes away from kickoff, the Bears and the Trailblazers. Good news for Utah Tech quarterback Bronson Barban after missing the last 2 games because of an injury. He's expected to play today. However, we're expecting Reggie Graff to get his 3rd start of the season, and Bronson will get some playing time. Trailblazers, though, will be without starting linebacker Will Alaveo. He is banged up. That is a huge loss because he leads the team in tackles for loss. And running back Kona Crowell, who scored the only touchdown last week for Utah Tech, he is probably going to take they just had the cannons go off. Sorry about that. He's going to take a red shirt. You're going to go undergo surgery. So Utah Tech will also be without a couple of backup offensive linemen. Well, the Trailblazers will have one of their stud linebackers playing today. Dallin Havea transferred to Utah Tech from the University of Utah, and he has had a major impact at outside linebacker, leading the team with 3 sacks. Time now to get acquainted with Dallin just a little bit better in this edition of Trailblazer Tales.
Hi, I'm Dallin Havea, outside linebacker here at Utah Tech. I was born and raised in Orem, Utah. I'm the second oldest of 6 kids, 5 boys, 1 girl. Our sister, she's the princess, and then us boys are rowdy, and we all play football, love sports. I went to Provo High School, played football there. After I went to Provo High, I served a 2-year mission in Texas, McAllen. It's right there on the border of Mexico. Came off my mission and went to BYU. I was a big BYU fan growing up. And then when I got to BYU, decided to enter my name into the transfer portal, and ended up here at Utah Tech. So I'm happy to be here. So me and my family were a big sports family. I was like the most adventurous one. I was the first one to start playing sports in my family. Started with football in the 3rd grade, and then our parents put us in many other sports. I played baseball, played basketball, and we're always competing, fighting with each other over, competing and at home and playing against each other. I have an older brother who's he's the best athlete of us all, man. He's the only person I could ever say that I honestly cannot be. But other than that, I have a toxic trait. If anybody who comes and challenges me, I'm always thinking, oh, I can beat him. But the only person that I know I can't be is my older brother, Drayson. He committed to play at BYU. And then I have younger siblings, and that was easy work all the time, playing against them. But my older brother, that's most definitely the only person who definitely made me better as an athlete, as a competitor. The funniest sports story, I just remember as a kid, my pops is a big competitor too. He coached I think it was my 7th grade team, and he just went and recruited a whole bunch of kids from different cities, and a lot of them play D1 sports now. But we just built this super big super team, and it was funny because we started playing games, and then the league. The little league that we were playing in, they took notice and they decided to ban our team. And so that was the funniest sports story that I had, just being able to, but it was super fun because we were just having fun. We had like D linemen playing linebacker, and but we had a super team, and a lot of them, I don't know, Logan Fano, he's at Utah, he was on that team, and a lot of the other boys that played BYU, they were on that team with us too, and so it was just a cool, big old super team that we had, and then they took notice and decided to shut us down.
So your Little League team was the transfer portal before it was
Yeah, so you can say my pops came up with the transfer portal before it was a thing. Decided he went out and recruited everybody from everywhere.
Now, I said that Dallin Havea was a transfer from Utah. Of course, he transferred from BYU. His linebacker teammate, Helaman Ofengawe, is a transfer from the University of Utah. Cardinal sin, big no-no to get those schools mixed up. All right, we are about 6 minutes away from kickoff, Trailblazers and Bears. Time now for the final word with head coach Lance Anderson.
Coach, how have you guys responded this week in practice?
We've gotten better every day. Execution's gotten better, the effort has gotten better, and now we just need that to carry over to Saturday.
What do you want to see out of your guys this Saturday that maybe you didn't see last week?
We just need to stay, within ourselves, need to execute, continue to play with great effort. I mean, if things go bad, we can't panic. We can't try to do too much. We just got to keep grinding away and just doing our job play after play.
Would you say it's more of a mental adjustment or a scheme adjustment, physical adjustment that you have to be better at?
It's more just physical. I mean, last week it was more just a matter of Austin Peay's speed, athleticism, physicality. Those things we did not match up well in those areas. And what compounded it is just the fact that we probably panicked a little bit once we saw that this was a very tough physical matchup for us. And that's why we just got to stay playing our game, compete as hard as we can play, and let things sort itself out. We're still battling some injuries. So again, this week there are going to need to be some guys that step up and are going to have a bigger role because of that. But we just got to keep getting better with the guys that we have. But again, those guys that might have more of an opportunity this week because of an injury, we're looking forward to them stepping up and playing well.
When you look at their record, same as you, kind of in the same situation, so much better than what the record indicates.
I think so. I mean, they were a very good football team last year, and we just don't have those wins right now, but they are a very good football team. And again, we're going on the road to play them, which makes it extra difficult. So it'll be a tough test for us for sure.
That quarterback that played his first game last week makes this a much more dynamic offense.
Yeah, he seemed to really, they really settled in with him at quarterback. I mean, they had their most productive game in terms of yards and points offensively. So I'm sure they're going into this game with some confidence.
This is what you like to see and see what your guys are made of.
Oh, definitely. Especially, want to have a chance to bounce back after a subpar performance last week. And, we're looking forward to our guys competing.
Okay, we are all set and ready for kickoff. Utah Tech, 1-4 overall, 0-1 in conference play, taking on the Central Arkansas Bears, who are also 1-4 overall and 0-1 in conference play. You can hear this game on the Fan Sports Radio Network. Trailblazers about ready to come out on the field. Reggie Graff, Leighton Tonavasa, and Nolan Reynolds, the captains for today's game. And over there you see the Trailblazers about ready to enter the field. Kickoff, Trailblazers, Bears coming up